Hello there. I'm really excited to be here on board Casino Royale with Mr. Peter Thompson, really one of my favorite people in this industry. I'm really happy to have you here, Peter.
Awesome to be with you.
Always. And a good hug.
You are the best hugger in the industry.
Thank you so much. All right. So tell me, how did you start in the industry and how long ago was that?
It was a long time ago, um, 40 years ago.
That's an impressive experience
You know,
that
when
we
I
have
started
here.
in the industry, I remember seeing Freddie Heineken's boat called Something Cool, and that's a pretty cool
Cool
name
name.
for a beer brewer. And it was about 35 meters, and everybody thought that was a big boat.
And how big is the boat that we're on right now?
That's 72 meters. Yeah, how
Double the
things have
size.
changed. Yeah,
For 40 years only.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Was it difficult to start? Tell us more about
Well, I
the.
think it was easier then than it is now because there were no rules. There was no last year's steward would be next year's captain. Something had to change, but it's very, very regimented now, and maybe for the good, but also it was more swashbuckling. I mean, the reason I got into yachting was to put a patch on my eye, a tricorn hat on my head, a parrot on my shoulder, and become a pirate.
That's awesome.
But now you've got to take life seriously, take exams. There's a career path, and I think from a career point of view, it's better. It was certainly more fun in the old days.
I cannot tell, unfortunately.
No, 40 years ago, you weren't even anybody in anybody's thoughts.
True. What do you love about the industry today?
And that is a tough one. It's the only life I've ever known, really. It's home to me. So, what do I love about it? I mean, I love a great many things. Like the people that I meet. There are great people in this industry. There are also some that are questionable, but that's the same in any walk of life. But I don't know anything different, really.
And if you had the power to change something in our industry, what would that be?
Probably lots of small things, but it would all. How would they all add up? I mean, there's nothing much I would per se change. I think the personalities are what sells boats, and I think the big brokerage houses, I think they tend to forget that. Working for the bottom line, I think is probably something that I don't focus on. I focus on value and relationship, and I think if anything should be changed in the industry, then people should concentrate more on the relationship than the bottom line.
That's why I would like to show the world how amazing of a person you are. That's why we're at this interview.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite yacht event?
There was a time when I thought the Monaco Yacht Show was the best in the world. And it's a cool show, and it's my hometown, so I've got to support it and big it up. But actually, I think the favorite show in the world for me has become the Palm Beach Boat Show that we're at right now.
I agree.
It's it has everything. The other two shows in America are okay. Fort Lauderdale is something that I'll always attend as long as it's happening. But this is a show where transactions happen, clients come, and for the area of yachting that I'm in, and it's sort of this size of boat, as we say, it's a 72 meter, and that's my comfort zone.
Hmm.
50 meters up is my comfort zone.
Okay, so this is what you specialize in. That was going to be my next question, but you answered it prior to that. What do you love doing outside work? What are you passionate about? Do you have any hobbies that you really dedicate your time?
I have four hobbies. They're my kids. But outside of that, yeah, they're passionate about the things that I'm passionate about as well. My two boys are into motocross. The two boys that live with me now. My eldest son's 30 years old. He has his own family, which makes me a grandpa. And but the boys are into motocross, so we end up traipsing all across southern Europe in the big van, taking the motorcycles to Milan and other places in Italy and around France so they can compete. Other
So
than that,
cool.
we do classic car restoration. My 16-year-old son, we bought a 1974 classic car, and we're going to make that an absolute jewel. and we're going to hopefully present that in 2 years' time at the Top Mark show in Monaco.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but he's doing the majority of the work, and I said to him, I said, so when you come out of school, you're going to go and be a mechanic at a garage? He said, no. He said, I want to follow a business course. I said, oh, business course, why is that? He said, well, you can teach me everything there is to know about the mechanics and the electrics on the car. I'm never going to be a painter because I don't want to breathe that stuff. So we'll farm the painting out. You can teach me all about the mechanics and electrics, which means that I need to know how to run a business.
That's very mature for
a 16-year-old. I thought that was pretty awesome. Anyway, so yeah. So, one of my hobbies is working out fine.
Yeah. That's great that you can pass your passion to your kids.
Yeah. And the other passion that we have as a family actually is cooking.
What do you love cooking? What is your favorite food? To eat and to cook.
I like fusion.
Okay.
Yeah, fusion, Asian, Western, baking.
Bacon?
Love baking.
Baking?
Baking cakes.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Can't you tell?
Do you bake your cakes for your birthdays and for your
absolutely,
kids?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm having birthday next week.
You are?
Yeah.
I'll send you the cake.
Oh, please do. I'm looking forward for that. All right. Okay, now a little bit of high school questions. Like high school, where are you based? What languages do you speak?
Oh,
where are
those.
you originally from? This type of high school questions. When you were younger, we had that book that we were answering questions. So this type of questions.
I'm from the northeast of England, near Newcastle. I grew up on the Tyne. I speak English, French, a little bit of Italian, Spanish, Dutch, and German.
That's already very impressive. This is a European broker. Man, with so many languages.
It's my home. Well, the way you learn languages, you go to a shipyard and you're on a build of a boat. Let's say I didn't speak any German. The first thing you learn is how to swear, because then you know what they're calling you.
That's funny. Tell us something that we should know.
In Holland. So as I'm doing something and I'm doing it wrong in the shipyard, or I'm asking somebody a stupid question, they'll turn around to me and say, oh, lul.
What does it mean?
Prick.
I learned something,
There you go.
If you could change something on the worldwide scale, what would that be?
I want world peace. Oh no, that's Barbie. Yeah, I'd like to see the euro and the dollar to be equal. I would like to change that. I would like to change that aspect of it. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Do you have any role models in your life? You could be a role model for me, but
the answer is I'm sure there have been several, but no, not really. Just try to be the best person I can.
Oh, I think you are. Could you share your most memorable moments from your working career and your life outside work?
The most memorable time at work, well, one of them was meeting Donald Trump.
I actually have also met him. When I was 21, that was the first time I was in the US and I was working in a golf course. So we had an event and Donald Trump was just coming a little bit earlier at that event, and he was just going to the buffet, taking some stuff, and I didn't know that was Donald Trump. So I went to him, I was like, excuse me, sir, you cannot just touch the food and just turn around and, oh, that was Donald Trump. I'm like, okay, sir, but that was funny. I ended up in a magazine in Bulgaria that speaking about me, that I met Donald Trump, and I just told him, don't touch the food, man.
No, I met him. I met him on board Diamonds Are Forever here at the Palm Beach show some years ago. And what was the question? Memorable moments.
Working career and outside work.
My working career. Well, when I was a captain, we were off the south coast of Sri Lanka, and we hit a 100-year wave head on, and it buried the boat. Black everywhere. And I remember my Indian leading seaman turned around to me and he said, Captain, do you think we will come out of this alive? And the bridge is still dark. It's black water above me. And I'm thinking, I don't know. And we're both absolutely calm. I mean, you would expect us to be running around, help! Who are we going to ask? And, you're in that thing, and this wave had just come from us. And you only see these things when they're just hundreds of meters, not kilometers away from you. And, we didn't see it on the radar or anything like that. And we're underwater. And it seemed like minutes, you know, and all of a sudden, I turned around to him and said, Raja Ram, I have no idea. And I'm thinking, is this the way I'm going to go? That's pretty tragic.
How old were you back then?
I was in my 30s. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the black turned to very dark green, and the very dark green turned to light green, and the light green turned to turquoise, and the turquoise changed to white. And then all of a sudden, there was blue sky above us. And it's like,
that's so fortunate.
And behind this 100-year wave, it was rough, but I mean, there wasn't anything else behind it. And we went round and had a look at the damage of the boat and saw what we could. And the bow of the boat was all caved in and everything, and it was pretty scary.
That's an amazing story.
That was in 1990.
It's a movie story for sure.
Oh yeah. Spencer Tracy should have done it.
Yeah. And how about in your personal life, if you would like to share, of course?
What, the cool things that I do in my personal life? A
memorable moment. I'm sure there are many, but
I was going to say getting divorced last May. No. I think that my best memories in my personal life all rotate around my kids. I'm a dad that lives for his kids.
I love that.
Yeah, my three kids, younger kids, live with me, and I go out of my way to do everything that I can for them.
You're an amazing dad, and I know that. So my next question was going to be, what makes you smile? But I think I already know the
it's
answer.
my kids. Yeah, it's my kids. Yeah. Seeing them smile makes me smile.
Okay, you already mentioned a few locations around the world, but what is your favorite place in the world and why?
A lot of people ask me where my favorite place to cruise in the world is. And being that we live in this industry, and as a captain and now as a yacht broker, we spend all of our lives in the flesh spots and hot spots of the world. So I like to get away from it all, and I think my favorite space is the ice. I like going up through the ice. Alaska, Northwest, Northeast Passage, Svalbard. They're the places that I would like to go to.
Yeah.
I want to take my kids on a barging holiday, in the UK, and then I want to do one in France, just to be different.
Yeah. Amazing. Actually, I realized for myself that the older I get, the more I like the icy and snowy places.
I'm a dreadful skier.
Yeah.
I always was. I skied like a grizzly bear, but now my knees decide to go in another direction to my body. So I do the après ski, which is very, very good. And I film my kids skiing, and they're embarrassingly good. The last time I was skiing with my kids, I was skiing downhill, and my son came up alongside me. He said, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" And he flipped around and he was skiing backwards, talking to me.
And okay, my last question is, what is your life motto?
Probably be the best dad I can ever be.
And I think that you have already succeeded with that, and you keep doing it.
It's a continuing experience.
Yeah, I think that you're the best anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's been really lovely speaking with you.
Ditto.
And
it's always a pleasure. You just brighten up the day whenever you turn up.
You too.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.